All right, all right. Happy Friday. Welcome back, everybody. Got a pretty fun topic here with our Facebook Live. As always, Rex Kehoe, Patrick Crowley joining you here. Today we are going to be talking about whether or not to basically re-roof, or what happens if you have to replace your roof when you go solar. See if my clicker will work here. There we go. So yes, deep dive number 57, replacing your roof after going solar. I think we'll also kind of touch on, what happens if you're going to replace your roof while going solar. Mm-hmm. There's some added benefits to that as well. So let's dive into it.
Let's go ahead.
Okay, as always, ask us anything. Write us a comment, send us an email. Guess you can give us a call as well.
Yeah,
we'll be happy to answer.
We have phones.
We do for sure. A new phone system as well.
Yeah, it's working well.
Yeah.
Shout out AirCall.
That's true. Okay, so what if I need to replace my roof after I go solar? What's going to happen there? Because you got a nice new system on your roof. Obviously, you have to take that thing off to put a new roof on. So what do we do?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't work too well if you put a roof on top of it. So you do have to take those solar panels off. Then you'll go through your re-roof and then reinstall those solar panels. And obviously, if you're doing that and you had a concrete roof or a clay roof, you can kind of already do the comp out backfill like we've talked about in other ones. But yeah, you would have to incur some costs in most cases if that was the route that you wanted to go.
For sure. And it might not seem as expensive as you might think. It's not going to be, if you paid $20,000 for your solar system, you're not going to have to pay $20,000 to have it removed and replaced. It's usually a few $1,000s.
Yep.
It depends on how large of a system that is. There are some installers that will even do it free of charge.
Right.
Those are typically installers that do roofing work themselves. So if you hire them to replace your roof, a lot of times they're going to come out, remove that system, put the new roof on, put the system back, and you're not going to incur any cost. That's an ideal situation.
Yeah, and let me ask you something. Would you have a roofer do this on their own, or do you need a solar contractor to reinstall the solar and make sure that all the electrical is good?
Great question. Great question. So,
thank you.
You would actually have to, if you wanted to keep your workmanship warranty on your solar system, if you want to keep that intact, you certainly need to hire that solar company back to take their system up, because it's their work.
That makes sense.
They're not going to let somebody else fool with their system and then still have their workmanship warranty.
Makes sense.
That. So very good question.
Great answer.
Yeah. So and well, here you go. That was right there. So solar installers provide a 10 to 25 year workmanship warranty. So to keep that intact, you would want to have them take that system off. Now, one thing, another point to highlight on this, if you're thinking about replacing your roof prior to going solar, if you get into contract with a solar installer, they're going to, first thing they're going to do is going to come out and do a site evaluation. They're going to want to verify the integrity of your roof. If they notice that your roof is not in good enough shape, they're not going to want to install on that roof, because they have this 10 to 25 year workmanship warranty that's tied to the integrity of your roof. So they're going to give you, basically what I'm getting at, they're going to give you an honest opinion on whether or not you should replace that roof now.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to want to have to come out and replace a leak if it's already there, or something to that effect.
Right. And so it's really, using the solar installer to verify the integrity of your roof, I would argue is better than having a roofer verify the integrity of your roof. And that would be because the roofer's primary source of revenue is going to be having you get a new roof. So they're going to want to encourage you to replace that roof, whereas a solar installer is only going to want you to replace that roof if it's actually needed.
Yeah, and then to elaborate on that, obviously getting a new roof, it's going to cost some money.
Yep.
And so, that does, can complicate a solar job. Obviously, it's going to be necessary in some cases, but a solar installer will only recommend it if you need it, but they won't move forward if you don't need it. So it's a perfect balance.
Yep. And at least, I don't know if it's going to be one of these slides on here, but of course it is. So, yes, if you're going to be going solar at the same time you're claiming, or at the same time you replace that roof, this beautiful 30% solar tax credit, these, whatever your improvements you're making that are needed for solar, you're going to be eligible, for that tax credit.
Yeah, and so this one's a little bit tricky. As always, we want you to consult the tax professional here. But you're only supposed to claim the tax credit on the roof planes that have solar on them.
Yep.
So if you have, let's call it $10,000 worth of roof work done, and you're getting solar on half of your roof, you really should only be claiming $1,500.
Yep.
Only should be claiming half of that 30%. We've seen people do just about everything with regards to that. So definitely talk to your tax professional, see what they're comfortable with, what you're comfortable with. But you can get that tax credit if you're doing the roof at the same time as solar.
For sure. Good point. Yeah, we are not tax professionals. That is true.
No.
Professionals, but not tax professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so re-roof after solar, the cost benefit analysis. I know we've touched on quite a few of these points here, but one of the more common inquiries that we get, if somebody doesn't have a new roof, doesn't necessarily have a super old roof, they might have 5 to 10 years of life left, in that existing roof, and they're debating, okay, well, should I go solar now, or should I wait, live out this existing roof, get the full value of that, and then replace that roof when they go solar? So it is a good, and it's kind of a tough decision to make, to be honest.
Totally.
We're actually working on coming up with a little kind of a formula. So once we figure out that, you'll be able to plug in your own numbers to see if now is the time to do this. There's a lot of things to consider. One of the biggest things that I would consider now, if you were to wait another 5 or 10 years, that 30% tax credit's not going to be here.
Yeah.
So that plays a big part in whether or not you should hold off and wait the extra 5 to 10 years.
That's not just the cost of the roof; it's also off your solar system. Right?
Exactly.
So you're looking at that cost.
That's
as well.
true.
It kind of plays into both aspects there.
Yeah. So taking that into account, and again, we're going to come out with a formula that's going to kind of outline all this in there, but you would lose out on the 30%, and within the 5 to 10 years that you may be waiting, well, you're going to be continuing to pay these high electricity costs, not paying your solar system asset off if you went solar now. So there's a lot of things to look at. We're happy to look into this for you, obviously, but we are developing, kind of like a formula to give access if you wanted to just check these out, on your own. Gonna need your input on this formula.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So that's pretty much it for now. It is a pretty important topic, a pretty common inquiry that we get, about this whole, roofing and solar combination here. So ask us, contact us if you want us to look into it for you. As always, Pick My Solar. We're an online marketplace from competing solar solutions from top providers. So no matter where you are in the country, come to us. We'll do our own analysis of your project, see if solar makes sense for you, and then we'll find the best installers in your area to install that project for you if it does.
Make sure that roof's good too.
Exactly. That's it. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.